is long and boring. No one can live the damn thing. It's full of charts and facts and figures and instructions for dancing. But I love it when you read to me, and you can read me anything. The book of love has music in it. In fact, that's where music comes from. Some of it's just transcendental, while some of it's just really dumb. But I love it when you sing to me, and you can sing me anything, yeah. The book of love is long and boring, yet written very long ago. It's full of flowers and heart-shaped boxes and things we're all too young to know of. But
All right, welcome to Nashville Comes To You. It's me, Josh Keys. I know you can't see my face just yet, but we're gonna change that here in a second. Oh, there we are. How's it going? Welcome to Nashville Comes To You. We're gonna do something different today. I'm gonna just be recording my original song, Mud, today. I know we've already heard it, but now we're gonna lay down real parts for it. That was just the demo. Alright. So I think I'm already set up to at least get started, so I'm just gonna go ahead and record this first little bit. I won't really be able to see you guys' comments the same way as normal. I'm gonna have to grab them from my phone. Kinda watching. But I'll try. But say hi if you're here. Let's see if I can find the video so I can just see the comments. There's unfortunately no way. Live right here. Alright, there we go. Comments. Hey, it's me talking. Let's not have that. Alright. Ooh, that's loud. There you go. Oh, now I can't read them. What happened? Yeah, this is easier. Love the Book of Love. Like the opening change to my song instead of Petty. What? There wasn't a change. I just hit shuffle on my songs when I start the show. It could be anything. So what I think I'm going to do today is try to record this part in two separate ways. So the way I wrote this song was up here, playing it this way. So I'm going to try this and try it down here as well. I think there's just a tiny bit difference. tiny bit difference in like the tone I can get out of them, and especially I don't have this high note on this lower part. But we're gonna see. We're gonna make sure it's in tune too. That's the most important. This is permanent when we're recording. But we're gonna record them, the whole song, in both parts, and we might just pick and choose which is better between the two throughout the song, or I might combine them to kind of, well, we can go through that once I have the two parts of why that would be a good idea. But sometimes it's cool, well, a lot of times you'll record the same part multiple times and then combine them into basically one sound so that it just sounds thicker and bigger, and there's more to it, and you don't really notice as the listener that there's more than one guitar playing this exact same thing, but you can kind of tell how much better it is when you do that. I'll show you when we get there. But let's go ahead and record this guy. When I'm recording, we're gonna
Shut that off.
so you won't hear me talking during the recording, but don't worry, I'll try to bring it back whenever we do. But here we go. Take one. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's like releasing doves. Oh, just a good time. A personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering, a losing game of charades. And love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss, with flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where it goes? And love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere.
Well, maybe it is, but it's a hug that's covered in mud.
All right, there's take one. Woohoo! Pretty much no mistake. I don't know how quiet it really is for you guys. This microphone is much louder because I turned it up so that I can be back here and just be talking regular voice and not my regular singing volume. But then the mic that I'm using for the guitar, it's not very there's not a lot of gain to it, and I'm wary to just pump it up because it'll bump up the noise floor as well, and I don't need that when we're recording. But hopefully you guys can still hear the part that I'm adding, but I'm pretty sure you can. Did you clap for it? Yay! So there's that one. We're gonna go with gonna rename this track Classical 1. This ain't a scratch track no more. And then this is a fun feature. New track with duplicate settings. So this is perfect whenever I want to just do the same thing again and double up or triple up and layer. And there's no need to have a new bit for it. Do a whole bunch of new sounds for it. There's no reason. I'm sure you can hear that part. There you go. So, normally when I put a capo on, you just kind of go with what you got unless it makes a real obvious difference. But when I'm recording, I want things to be perfect. So we go through the capo has a tendency to just make things a little sharp a lot of times because you're basically pushing down on all your strings. And you can, so like here's if you just push on a note normally, you know. But if you push really hard, you can bend it basically by just pushing down on it more. It's a lot less prominent on a classical. I think you can still hear it though. But let's see, actually the tuner might show you. So if we just play that note, you can see where it's hitting about 30 cents over, which is something we don't want. It's not reading very well. Guess not. That's a good example for you right there. Yeah, I sound a little stuffed up. Yep. Stuffed up. It's great. Don't you love it? I'm dead though, so this is me as a vampire. And this is why we tune again, because you can see how it's not on. We want to just be at 0. B's good apparently. What is popping? That's not gonna make me happy at all. Can't be popping while I'm recording. We might have to restart the Logic. I don't think that we'll need to restart the stream for that kind of popping. Usually that sounds like a Logic problem. Because I'm hearing it. So I'm thinking this is how I wrote the song, and I'm thinking this is gonna be the better part because it's got kind of the higher notes. more control. But the thing is like a classical guitar is not really made to have or at least the capo is not made for a classical guitar. So I was trying not to do that. As long as we don't sound out of tune, though, that's really all that matters. So let's try this again. We're going to go ahead and mute our first track and not bother to play exactly with it right now. And we'll probably end up doing it again. Welcome to recording, where we just do everything 1,000 times. That's my bad, I forgot to restart the song. We're just recording at the end, all alone. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's like releasing doves, oh, just a good time, a personal parade. Apparently I should have shut my phone off. Getting a phone call. This is why I turn my phone off all the time while I'm recording. I usually just put it on airplane mode, but I'm not right now because I'm trying to read you guys' comments. But if you are trying to call me or text me and I don't respond, this is why. I just turn this stuff off while I'm working. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's like releasing doves, oh, just a good time, a personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering, a losing game of charades. And love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness. Oops, forgot which position I'm playing this in. Started playing the wrong chord. I didn't really like some of the stuff. I missed a couple notes. You might not care, but I missed a couple notes in that first part anyways. We'll do it again. Take 5. I don't know what one we're on already. Kind of. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's like releasing doves, oh, just a good time, a personal parade. Well,
Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering, a losing game of charades. And love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss, with flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where it goes? And love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love. And love is to die so others can live again. Love is to cry 'cause others have been. And then love is to lie in the arms of a stranger. And love is alive in the cooling of anger. Yeah, love is alive in every life. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just one great big hug. Well, maybe it is, but it's a hug that's covered in mud.
All right, there's take two. We're gonna do that one more time though. I had a little oopsie at the end of the bridge. Played the wrong chord. It's easy to just pop it in right there, and I can just start recording right there if I wanted to. But I'm a sucker for a whole live take if I can do it, and I can. So we're gonna, but I'll probably end up chopping them up a little bit. What do we got here? Seth Casey, what's up, buddy? I haven't seen you in a long time. You love the tiny arpeggios twinkling over the... Yeah, we're going to work on that as soon as we're done here with the guitar. You're indulging on the groove. There's going to be a better groove in there. I played some drums to it, but I've taken those out right now because I didn't quantize those and I don't want them to affect what I'm playing right now, but the drums will come in through the second half of the song for most of it. Missing harpsichord, high energy punch out. Very long. Yeah, it has been a long time. Are you still in Nashville? I need a bass player every now and then. You still here? Because I'll call you. We rockin' downtown. Alright, let's try this again. Yeah, still in Nashville? Alright, cool. I think I have your number. But if you got a new number recently, then maybe I need your new number. But here's what we're gonna do. Stop it, stupid. I still need a mouse pad, that's the problem. Number 3. Then we'll play with these just a little bit and see. Actually, you know what? Let's try to do this. You can kind of get a little piece of the idea. What are we at? 35. I'll try to play with my first. Alright, don't send me any more text messages. That thing made a ding in my thing. If I'm recording, it'll mess it up. Got it, though. Alright. How do I turn that off? I don't know how to turn. I'm not even going to try. It's going to take me so long. I'm going to sit here for the next 30 minutes trying to turn off the stupid ding from the computer. But, once again, this is why I turn it on the airplane mode. What, Joey's close to Nashville? Not close enough. Alright. Let's do this again. What are we doing? Yeah. Turn the mic off. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's like releasing doves. Oh, just a good time. A personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering, a losing game of charades. And love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss, with flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where it
that's covered in mud.
Alright, there's take 3. Messed up in both courses, awesome. But that's why we have multiple takes. Now we can steal from this other guy. But you can hear at the end how it's important, if you're going to try to play them together, that a lot of times the pieces won't be exactly the same. So, you gotta listen to that crap. Alright, but let's see how they kind of go together. So, a lot of times what I would do is do something like this to kind of... I'll keep the vocal solid with this, but you should be... Yeah, you can still hear me while we're doing this. So you can hear how all 3 are going together. Like watching the process? That's good. I'm glad you enjoy this because I didn't want to sing today. And we need to get this crap done. Taking forever. So what I was thinking about doing was, my production idea for this song is to kind of be like this guitar, this classical guitar kind of in one ear, and then me singing. And like the shaker on the other side, and that's it. And then when the band comes together and comes in, then it can fill out the whole thing. So it'll kind of feel a little one-sided. So what we'll try doing is usually what you'll do is, like, in my opinion anyways, when I'm sitting here like mixing or at least putting the stuff in the artistic spot that I like to put them in, then what I probably do is the part with the higher notes will probably be the furthest out. So when I pan them, I'm going to pan it harder. And the notes with more bass notes or any lower tones will be closer to the center. And since this is still a guitar I want to put on the left side, we're going to sit here and do it. Try to see how it sounds like this, kind of, with both of them together. You can hear how it's not really... I probably won't do that for like the riff because it sounds a little in and out of phase because they're not exactly the same. But once the strumming is together, it might do something cool, it might not. We might end up with just a solo track. Because it's such a simple part, you don't want it to feel like there's more than one guitar. The only reason I put more than one in there is to kind of thicken it up or add a little extra voicing. I've also turned off the reverb. Let's add some of that. Sound like we're in the bathroom, which I might be doing. I might be re-recording this in the bathroom. I tried it several times today and I couldn't really come up with a spot that I liked in the bathroom. One of my empty bathrooms with nothing in it would be the perfect spot for it because it's got a lot of that reverb in there, but it's kind of like overemphasizing the mid frequencies too much. Kind of just sounds like too much like that. Oh look, there's me hitting the wrong chord. Where's that at? So this is where we can kind of go like this too and see. This was a better take anyways. The thing is I just didn't play them together, so they might not sound as good. Because the cool part is when I play them together, I hear the other part and I can play with the other part. But when you do it this way, a lot of times what you'll do too is be like, well, this was the better part, so we want it to be loud, or right now I'm changing them both. But this is just the one guitar. And you fade in the other one. already hear how it's giving it more dimension without it sounding like two guitars. It only sounds like one, but there's more in them. And a lot of times too, what I'll do when I do this is like, say I want to use that audio glitter track or effect. Oops. I would only add it to one of these. And so I'd let one of the tracks be more dry, and so you can hear the guitar. Oh, it's right here. We can just use it right here. And the other one would focus on, you know. So you can hear it sparkle just barely up there. You know, or a lot. It's mostly that. Fun stuff. It's fun being creative this way. There's a bass line later. It comes in later. But yeah, I would probably not put it on this track anyways. I would probably... Well, what I would probably do if I was doing this, let's do it this way. So you can hear how that stuff moved out. And then we probably go this way. So this guitar would be a little further in the front. So it'll give it a duller tone and have the highs be further out and more sparkly.
Of anger, yeah, love is alive in every life. Excuse me. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just one great big hug. Well, maybe.
But most of the time I'm not into that like short distance reverb, any of the like bathroom sounds or small rooms. Very echoey and very bright and like slap delays. But for this song I feel like it would be a good choice. Yeah, those riffs aren't the same at the end. That's funny. But I'm not sure what I want to do quite yet with this part. Definitely wouldn't want it to be right off the top.
You don't know nothing about love.
What might be neat.
You think it.
So you can hear. Even just taking it out for one little bit. How much it can add just by playing the same part twice.
You don't know nothing about love. You think it's like releasing doves. Oh, just a good time. A personal parade.
I have them both going right now.
Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades. And love
try to
is
go
a
on
type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love.
Alright, this is the closest thing I got to a mouse pad is my giant DVD folder. But I think it'll work.
You think it's just some kind of
There we go.
Yeah.
I can't stand when I'm trying to move the mouse and it's like skips.
Flowers
Goes everywhere. I can't see nothing.
So what would you think then of love?
What was I doing?
When it
Putting
got
this
swept
one.
under the
Switch
rug,
endings, I think. Would be better.
Were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where it goes?
Let's go. I haven't even EQ'd it or anything yet.
You don't know nothing about love. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's like releasing doves, oh, just a good time.
Let's go with smush it a little bit so it's constantly the same volume. And that way that's more of like a gloss that you put over the guitar. Let's go ahead and turn the EQ on. Oh, this isn't the one I want to use. We'll go with this guy. So a lot of times when you EQ stuff, you do what's called sweeping, and you're just kind of looking for the frequency you want to affect. You can't even hear differences here. So I'll probably go like this. Just keep it all there. Or what you want to take out. So you can hear like that 800 is like I want a little less of that because that's what muddies it up. And at 3K you can hear a little bit more attack. This is the part we're going to push out to the side, so I want it to just kind of be more attacky and bright. Then, so what we'll probably do is find that honky tone again on this. Take those out a little bit. So you can hear how we cleared it up a little bit, and that's all we did. That's all you really are gonna do. It's just gonna help it meld with the mix better. You're not really trying to a lot of times change the actual sound. If you do, you do more extreme things. But I'm mostly trying to just get it to sound really, we're gonna just cut out a boom. And cut the whole floor out. Actually, that might be good for what we're doing. And then we'll combine it with this guy. Chop this out for right now. Save it for later. But we don't want two guitars doing the thing, cause at least not these two, because they're not doing it together. We'll just move it out of the way so it's done. There we go. Probably same at the beginning.
You don't know nothing.
Some electro funk. What's electro funk? I don't even know what that is.
You don't know nothing about love.
Clumsy harmonies might work. Oh, I'm sure we'll be putting harmonies in. That's the last. To me, harmonies are pretty much always last. Because you can't do them until you do the real vocal. And I'm not really gonna do the real vocal until there's only 2 times I do the real vocal. And if it's not at the end, then it's when I'm doing, like, if I want it to be 100% live with my playing, then I'll do guitar and vocal at the same time. But that's a catch-22, because you have to do whatever you do doing that. It has to stay that way, because the guitar channel is going to catch the vocals and vice versa, so you can't cut and piece out of that anymore. So I try not to unless I want to, but I really like a live sound even out of recording. So
And love is a type of sadness. The way
anyway, I think this is a good start. I mean, this is better than I was doing, just this guitar. Not as good. Or these guitars.
You don't know
Just a different sound. Sound better.
about love. You think it's like
What about an acoustic track to kind of brush with it as an intro? I kind of wanted it to be like, to me it sounds like an opening to like a children's book. Like childish, like, because this song, not to get like too deep about it or something, but like this song is like faux wise, if that makes any sense. Like, don't send me shit. At least we're not recording. Recording what, or this song, not to get all deep or whatever, but like it's like faux wise, I guess, or faux wisdom. Like it's not real wisdom, but like, I don't know. It's like pretend, like this is deep, but not really. Like it's just supposed to be one of those cynical. It's like a cynical feeling towards like the people like who don't understand what love's about. Like, love entails a lot of like sacrifice and caring about other people, and like you don't feel good every single time that you're like in love or anything like that. And there's a lot of people who, you know, say things like, it's just all love, man, or something like that. And like a lot of those platitudes are really shallow, and they don't hold any weight as far as like real life, you know, interactions go. So this song is like a response to that, and like like a more cynical, like, you don't know anything about love, and that's what you think it is. If you just think it's like, it's all love, man, it's all good, like, don't be hating, don't, like, conflict happens, that's real, and conflict happens in the middle of loving somebody else. That's real life, and if you can't accept that, then you're running away from what love's about and stuff. But at the same time, this is like also not what love's about. Love's not just about it sucking, and it's not like those good feelings don't really exist. So that's why I say this is like one of those faux wisdom, I guess. It's like almost wisdom, but not really. It's not really. So anyways, with that in mind, I guess the music for me represents that feeling a lot better as like kind of like a children's story. Like, so many children's stories like are designed to like offer these, you know, wise thoughts to children and stuff, but because they're dumbed down for children, like, the metaphors are weak, you know, it doesn't really apply. And like, so that's how I feel about this song. Like, some of the lines, like, it's weak, like, you're trying to say a good thing and whatever, but at the end of the day, it's like, that's not what it is either. I mean, you're not really getting the point across. So that's why I say, like, I want that intro is supposed to be like, and this is the beginning to this children's book. Like, just like, I don't know. That's how I hear that part, you know? Just like the opening to some, like, self-righteous children's book, like, I guess. But as a music.
You don't know nothing about love. You think it's
We might do 12 string over it, but I really want this to have a strikingly different sound than the rest of the songs on this album. So right now we're going to stick with just the classical on top and keep it really simple. And we're not going to listen to Electric Monk right now. I'll listen to it later. What is it? Alright, let's go ahead and revisit this Rhodes a little bit. I think it's already... Yeah, perfect. That's very perfect. I didn't play it that good.
And love is a type of sadness.
You might not change this part then.
The weight of which you harbor. Type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love.
So I think what we'd rather have... Oh my. How did you manage that? There you go. Shouldn't you have 2 octaves of doing this? I'm so confused. Maybe not. I guess it just looks bigger. This is one of the most confusing parts of the interface for me, is when you zoom in on notes, you think you're zooming in over like a certain octave, and then when you see it, you're like, what? Where are these notes? What? What do we start on? F. I think that's what we're doing. Oh. I think that's what we want. Right?
To love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love.
Yeah. Just
Meaning, but I remain.
so we just go. Oh, there's two notes. I hate when it does this. I don't know why.
Of meaning, but I remain in hold of meaning, but I remain in love. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a blink.
Oh yeah, always save your projects. Somehow I'm too stupid to do that. Every once in a while I'll get cut off. Cocaine country song. How the hell is that electro funk?
You don't
That's not what I would imagine
know
electro-funk is.
nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss.
Yeah. I think we're gonna do bass again. Oh. What do I have plugged in? This one. Whoops. Bro. Yeah, I know I wanted to redo these bass lines. I always overplay when I do these. Why can't I pull that up? I always overplay when I do anything for a demo. And then, come on. There we go. And then when I go back, then I listen to all the parts that I liked out of my overplaying and reduce it down to like just those parts, which is what we're gonna do now. Because there's a lot of too much movement, for sure. We're definitely half step down too. What are we plugged in as? It should be 2. Oh no. Really? We can all hear it. You can't give me the tuner? Okay. This is the worst tuner ever. Are you kidding me? That's not F sharp. What the hell? Oh, input 1. Why are you doing it for input 1? Hey, there we go. That makes more sense. Yeah, we need all those notes during the whole song. No. Alright.
Yes, some kind of drug entranced in oblivion.
Like, I like my little entrance there, but... Oh, what is it? Ba-ba-da. Right.
Some kind of drug entranced in oblivion, with flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under?
There's just too much playing. But I wanted to see at that point.
Do you hope that it's just where it goes? Love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. Love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love. And love is to die so others can live again. Love is.
Yeah. So let's go like this.
Some kind of drug entranced in oblivion, with flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where it goes? Love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. Love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love. And love is to die so others can live again. Love is to cry 'cause others have been, and then love is to lie in the arms of a stranger, and love is alive in the cooling of anger. Yeah, love is alive in every life. You
We're gonna do that again. But it's close.
some kind of drug entranced in oblivion, with flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering? Do you hope just where it goes. Love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love. And love is to die so others can live again. Love is to cry 'cause others have been, and then love is to lie in the arms of a stranger, and love is alive in the cooling of anger. Yeah, love is alive in every life.
Yeah.
Entranced in a bliss
So what I'll actually do here, while there's two
with flowers
bass tracks,
under your nose.
is because I actually layer the bass as two different things. So I use one for just like the attack and the line, and then the other one's kind of like the sub bass most of the time.
Entranced in a bliss with flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where it goes? Love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness.
So here's the drums that I have already in
It
there.
follows you everywhere. Love is to lose hold
I think it's a little much, more than I
but I
want.
remain in love. And love is to die so others can live again. Love.
So I'd like to take it to one of my drummer buddies and have them do something else. Something better. I have other ideas.
You don't know nothing about love.
We might not need the sub bass for this one because we got the
You
synth
think
doing it.
it's just some kind.
You think some keys would be good? There's piano in it. It's right here. Piano. Bam. She comes in right here. quantize this stuff.
The
This stuff
weight
looks
of
quantized
which you
though.
hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose. You
So let's go.
don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss, with flowers under your nose.
Yeah, look at that messed up right here. Right here. We're just gonna do this. Because it just holds the same. Keep. These are just the same notes the whole time anyways. So we go like this. No, 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 no. Sorry. Copy paste. Boop. How's this go?
With flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept? What would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug?
Alright, that's pretty close.
Do you hope that it's just where it goes? Love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to
I bet I know what the problem is. This is my real piano. Yeah. There, we fixed that part anyway. There we go. Alright. Well, what else did I want to change to this thing? Oh, yeah. We're going to try that. Alright. I'm going to be right back. I got to grab another guitar. I'm going to go to the bathroom too. While we do that. This still works, I think. There we go.
I love it when you give me things,
Oh, wait.
and you are to give me wedding rings, and I love it when you give me things, and you are to give me wedding rings. You are to give me wedding rings. A memory of you is burned into my mind. Your piercing eyes were staring straight back into mine. I can feel your body back into me, and I can't help but think I've been here before. I have only one question, is it really me that you're looking for? Are you really afraid of civil war? Do you know inside you're fighting for? Help me believe we could do better than all the civil wars we fought before. Wrestling with all the things I think of you, moving past them as fast as I can. I hate to lose the feeling inside me when I get to dreaming and think of you. But your face makes me smile and I can't hide it. What am I supposed to do when I'm thinking about you? Yeah, I'm thinking about you. Are you really afraid of civil war? Do you know inside you're fighting for? Help me believe we could do better.
Alright, we got the guitar. I couldn't find this guy. We're gonna try this guy. This is what's called an ebow. Curious if there'll be a good way it sounds good in this song. Let's see. Better work, I don't use it ever. Oh, we did unplug it. This guy just in the way now. Probably. Alright, I don't think I have a electric channel right now. Let's go like this. We're in input 2. Alright. Evo. Don't you guys love it? You can hear me tap on this guy. What am I doing? Add in the amp. Alright. What would be cool for this song? Let's go back to the beginning. What is that crap?
You don't know nothing.
That sounds disgusting. Alright, I can only assume this is a sample problem. Hold on. We're gonna go like this. Yeah! There we go. What'd I tell ya? You hear the keys? You would like them to be more of a star. Who gives a shit what you want? This ain't your song. The bottom background, but song sounds great. Cool watching the composition. Yeah, well, I mean, I'll end up toying around with this a lot. I mean, there's no way to really know how it really ends up until we get to the end. So, I guess we need to be up in standard, huh? I guess not necessarily, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Yeah, to me, there's not gonna be a way for me to really know how it sounds until we get the drums in there. I have an idea of how I want the drums to sound, but until it actually happens and I know what they're gonna be doing, I don't really know what ends up being the ultimate ending of how it turns out. All this is just stuff that I hear in my head, and I'm trying to make it, turn it into real life, turn it into something you actually hear, and that's the challenge, because I already hear cool things in my head, but is it really happening in real life? Will it sound the same in real life? You don't always know. Some of the things that you hear in your head are, I would call them blurry. Like, you get a sense of what you want to hear, but you couldn't pick it out all on its own. So I experienced that a lot, where I'm like, I know what I want it to sound like, but I don't know how to actually do it. And so you just spend time experimenting until you find out how to do it. So this is going to give me like the high stuff, and this is more of the fundamental note. I'm probably not going to like this much like attack on it. Why are we... Did it add another one? Oh yeah, I don't want two. No! Wrong! There we go. Oh yeah, that'll do it. Just accept positive feedback. Aw. So much grid on it right now. Let's see. What would be cooler sounding? You don't know nothing about love. You think it's like releasing doves. Oh, just a good time. A personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love
is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of me, but I remain in love. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in oblivious, with flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where it goes? Love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. Love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love. And love is to die so others can live again. Love is to cry 'cause others have been and then. A lot more a losing game of and love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, that's covered in mud.
It's so hard to get a consistent sound out of this guy. It won't go and won't go, and then it'll be friggin' blazingly loud. I'm trying to get it to, like, I guess a limiter would be better than this, probably. We'll try that. Dynamics. Not that kind. This kind. For what? Those are terrible settings. Look ahead 5 milliseconds. I don't know if you guys ever watched the movie Book of Eli, but a lot of that soundtrack was made with one of these guys. Ebo! That doesn't sound any quieter. It should be so much quieter. There, that's a little bit better. It's not ear piercing every time I hit those notes. And I can lean into it a little bit more. But it's still like, it's coming in too buzzy. Let's see. This will be fine for right now. Really? Right there. Maybe a little more this way. That might be more helpful too. I think if I was going to do any, it would be back here. Let's go.
Type of sadness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of me, but I remain in love. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug. kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love. And love is to die so others can live again. Love is to cry 'cause others have been. And then love is to lie in the arms of a stranger. And love is alive in the cooling of anger. Yeah, love is alive in every life. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just one great big hug. Well, maybe it is, but it's a hug that's covered in mud. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss, with flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where it goes? Love is a tie.
Right. Come on, bro. There you go. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss, with flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love?
Doesn't want to do that when I'm doing it.
When it got swept under the rug,
think I got an idea. We'll start with this.
You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss. With you don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss. With flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where it goes? Love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. Love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love. And love is to die so others can live again. Love is to cry. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss. With flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where it goes? Love is a type. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of
Alright, well, there's something I can use, kind of. Wah, wah, wah. This thing's hard to control. You can't get it to do stuff sometimes. We're right in the middle of a bend, and it's like, oh, we're done. So the way this works, I don't know if I explained it earlier, but it's just like uses magnets in here. So it's like an electromagnet, and so it gets the string to vibrate with just electromagnetism, which is neat. But because of the way the guitar works and harmonics work and stuff, it doesn't always resonate at the right spot, and so you have to move it around and try to find the right spot to get it to vibrate right. And apparently that means when I'm actually in the middle of recording, it won't do it. Super nice, thanks. Nice EPO stuff. Your phone died. It's a tragedy. #1 song with the Scottish twist. I don't know what that means. Does it sound Scottish to you, the Evo?
You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss, with flowers.
What am I doing? It's 11.
Under your nose. So what would you think when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering?
So we're gonna send it through the reverb real hard. Oh my goodness. It's so loud. Hey. There we go. Mess with it a little bit and get it to change. Let's do something like this. One of these. Not that guy. It's probably gonna do better on like yeah. Here we go.
You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss, with flowers under your nose. When it got swept under the rug, were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where it goes? Love is a type.
That's such a bummer. That's not what I wanted to do right there. That's the one part I wanted to have a more defined line where it actually goes bow, bow, bow.
That it's just where
and it's like dying right there. That's so funny. We can do it again though. We'll go. Oh, which one did I have it on? Damn it. Let's try.
were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where it
the mic on accident.
Just where to go. Love is a type of sadness.
And just like that, it's fixed. Maybe.
Oh, that it's just where to go. Love is a type of sadness.
Really just go like this. Blend it in there. Bam. Never even know.
Love is a kind of weakness. Love is a type.
Alright, what we're going to do instead is just do another track, and I'll show you a different cool thing about Logic. I think most of the DAWs do this now, but it's really cool if you just record over the same track. You can composite them together. I'll show you how this goes. But I'm just going to do another take and then work on that. And you'll see.
You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss, with flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where to go? Love is a type of sadness, the weight of which.
Well, I didn't quite get it, but you can see it's already doing it for me, so it's comping them together already. So you can just select your first take and then be like, oh, I just want to blend in, oops, not right here. I just want to blend in this better version of me playing right here. Bam. And so up here you can see it's just count where my mouse got bigger. On the top level, this is the composite track, and then this is the second take, and this is the first take, and you can see right here where I'm just choosing where I want to, what I want to include from where, and then it crossfades the samples together automatically for me. Super helpful and convenient. They used to, so it's really funny. People think like, oh, this is brand new technology, and like it's so cheap. People are cheating. You know, they're not really doing their recordings live like they used to in the past. They did the same thing in the past. The difference was that only the professionals got this treatment done because you had to literally cut the tape to make your own composite tracks by cutting physical tape and then gluing them together, or what, probably not gluing, but however they taped them together to make a composite track. They did that with recordings back way back, you know, before CDs, before all that. They would still do exactly what I'm doing right now. It just wasn't done by a computer in 5 seconds. It was done by a team of like 20, 30 engineers that all sat there and did whatever the main producer asked for, you know. he would probably sit there through several tracks or whatever and be like, right at this timestamp, this is where we're going to cut, and we're going to include this part from this part. And every now and then, that's what's neat, is sometimes you can hear where that stuff was done in the past, because maybe they missed a spot or it just was done poorly. And so you can hear where it clips or cuts or something like that when they cut the track or something like that. So this technology has been around forever. It just used to be done manually. Now it's done in seconds by my computer, which is super, super fun, because I'm not going to do it.
Were you left wondering?
Oh, you can hear how it'll fade right into it, and you don't even notice that there's a change in takes. Whoops. I don't know what you're doing right now. Why are you not? Oh, it's being stupid. I don't know why this line's here at all. Oh, there it goes away. I'm sure you care about that part. But that might be good. That's not so loud.
And our love. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind
Probably
of
turn it down too.
drug.
Still pretty loud.
Entranced in a bliss.
Just have it be this like weird noise in the background.
Under your nose.
This worked out better than I thought.
So what would you think then?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to compress the shit out of it though, because
when it got swept,
it just quiets itself here and there. It's so annoying. I'll go like this.
Were you left wondering?
Add another compressor.
Oh,
look, it's working.
That it's just where to go.
Have it always compressing just a little bit.
Love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a
You can push the amp really hard.
That follows you everywhere. Love is the loophole of me, but I remain in love. And love is to die wondering. Do you hope that it's just where? Love is a type of sadness.
I think what I'd do too is I've got a tool called I think it's called a vocal writer, but whoops. It's called a vocal writer, but what it'll do is automatically keep that always at the same volume. What company was it? I think it's this one. Vocal writer, yeah. So usually you'd put this on your vocals track, and just that way that, you know, every time you sing a little bit louder or sing a little bit quieter, it bumps it up or brings the volume back down. But we're going to put it on the EBO so that it sits at a constant volume.
You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in oblivion.
See if it has just like hard limit writing.
So what would you think then of love when it got swept?
But that's what it's doing, is it's trying to constantly keep it at the same volume best I can. You can hear how it's much more consistent now and not, unfortunately I couldn't get the performance to sit at a regular volume.
Love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love.
That'll be a fun little effect to keep in there. Well, it's past 10 already, so show's over. I'm probably going to keep working on this, though, so I'm going to go ahead and leave the stream on. You guys can leave if you like or hang around. I'll still be here. I think I might take a small break and get something to eat here in it for a second. But I'll probably still keep recording for a minute, maybe till like 11. When I'm here, you may as well try stuff. So we're set up. Let's see. Maybe we try something like this. Not this guy, not this guy. Go, not this guy. We're gonna go. Did I get an email from you guys today? Yeah. I did. Good luck. I don't know what you want me to say in response to that. Good luck. It's just an angiogram, right? So you're not actually having surgery, right? I hope everything turns out good. Wait, which one is this one? Oh yeah. Let's try. I want to add a little bit of slide in here and see if it's cool, but I want it to be like really like bad quality sounding. Let's do. I think we want to do it something like this. We're gonna go. This guy. Do weird stuff. So I learned this trick a little while ago, several years ago, by, who did I learn it from? Matt Bigler, guitar player. Anyways, he did this with one of his EQ pedals, and I was like, why the hell did you do that to your pedals? And he's like, it makes it sound like a dobro. I was like, nuh-uh. Sure enough. Sounds pretty neat. So we're going to try that. See if that's not cool. I can't see. You're doing great. Sounds awesome. Good night. See you next Wednesday. All right. Good night, Mom. Good night, Grandma, Grandpa. Is open heart surgery an option on that day, or you just have to reschedule it for later? Hopefully not that day. Let's go like this. Go back to the amp. Turn the... What? Sounds like the reverb's way up. Oh. There you go. Excuse me.
You don't know nothing about love. You think it's like releasing doves. Oh, just a good time. A personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades. And love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of me, but I remain in love. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss, with flowers under your nose. So what would you think? Oh, just a good time. A personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. Oh, just a good time. A personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades. And love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of me, but I remain in love. You don't know nothing.
It is an option on that day. Well, hell. Good luck. Yeah, love you guys. Have a good night. if you're still here. If not, whatever, I guess, bye. Yeah, I'll probably talk to you guys tomorrow or something. Alright.
Time, a personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades. And love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of me, but I remain in love. You don't know nothing about love, really on parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades. And love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of me, but I remain in love. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss, with flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering, Jehovah's personal parade? Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades. And love is a type of sad. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's like releasing doves, oh, just a I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering, a losing game of charades. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering, a losing game of charades. And love is great. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering, a losing game of shame. Oh, I read love. A bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering, a losing game of charades. A personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering, a losing game. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. Time, a personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades. And love time, a personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades. And love personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like love. About love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. Love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades, just suffering. A losing game of charades, mostly just suffering. A personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades. And love is a tie, a personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades. A personal parade. just suffering, a losing game of charades. And love is a personal parade. Well, I Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more parade. Well, I know a bit parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. Parade. Well, I know parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering, a losing game of charades. And parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just parade. Oh, parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. Parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering, a losing game of charades. And love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can know. Parade. Well, I know a bit more. Parade. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades. And love is a tide. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really great. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. Parade. Well, I know a parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades. Well, I know a bit more about love. Well, I know a bit. Well, I know a bit. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just well, I know a bit more. Well, I know a bit. Well, I know. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A personal parade. Well, I know a personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love. It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades.
How how about that? I don't know if anyone's still watching.
A personal parade. Well, I know a bit more about love.
Some bitey slide.
It's really a lot more like mud, mostly just suffering. A losing game of charades. And love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love. You don't know nothing about love. You think it's just some kind of drug, entranced in a bliss, with flowers under your nose. So what would you think then of love when it got swept under the rug? Were you left wondering? Do you hope that it's just where it goes? Love is a type of sadness, the weight of which you hardly can bear. Love is a kind of weakness that follows you everywhere. To love is to lose hold of meaning, but I remain in love. And love is to die, so other.
Whoops. No, right there. Oh, this isn't what I want to do. What am I doing? There we go. Oh, what happened?
You don't know.
Yeah, I didn't want that. Shit. Bounce in place, but. Well, before I do this, I'm just going to say goodbye. I don't know if anybody else is still watching, but if you are, thanks for coming to Nashville Comes To You. I know we didn't do requests tonight. We're just working on my song. But if you come next week, next Wednesday, from 8 to 10 Central Time, we'll do songs like we normally do. I'll sing you stuff. But thanks for watching me and being a part of me recording this song. I hope you enjoyed it. I got to use the bathroom and stuff, and I need to go eat something, so I'm going to take a rather large break. So I think after that, I don't think anybody's really watching, so I'm just going to say goodnight. Come back next Wednesday. All right, thank you guys. Goodbye. I don't know how to end this without my normal stuff, so